Good morning, Periscope family. There's my board. There's my prayer time. Good morning, Darlene. Thank you for all your notes and all your help and everything today. And let's get the camera turned around. But I wanted to just leave it here for a minute because I want you guys to be able to see my whiteboard on the wall today because it means so much to me. It's a big part of how I get connected with my day. So whenever I talk about my board, I just want you to see that. Good morning, Brenda. I'm thinking about Florida today because there's still a couple feet of snow out there. Good morning, Maya. And camera turned around. There we go. Good morning. New haircut today. Needs a little style work and all of that. But anyway, good morning, Claire. Good morning, Darlene. Thinking about Florida today because it's snowing again here in Denver today. But it's going to go from snow to sunshiny sort of this afternoon. So that's a good thing. Good morning, Pam. Great to have you with us. Good morning, Theona. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Al. I was thinking about you guys a bunch today, Al, so I just want you to know I've been praying for you and Arlene, and just want to encourage you with the word we have today. So anyway, this morning was pretty interesting because this burden of showing up and how I'm going to present myself on this Periscope thing, the last couple of days there's been a few things that have been happening, and you just sort of take on this burden for people, for family, for friends. You read about people on Facebook struggling, and so it's like, okay, well, I've got to do a Periscope app that's going to minister to all of these people and all of their problems and solve all of their problems. So I was wandering around this morning going, how am I going to have the perfect word to solve, my wife's problems, my friend's problems, my daughter's problems? This lady on Facebook who, put up a little post in the Passion Translation. She said, I just really appreciate the word this morning because I have no job, I have no income, and I have bills coming. And so anyway, walking through that, so I'm coming in this morning and I've got the burden for how I'm going to do this Periscope. And I realized I was tired, I was worn out, and here's what was happening. I was listening to the old voice. I was listening to the old voice, and there's two voices. We can listen to the old voice, the one we've been programmed for, or we can listen to the new voice, the voice of where we're going and what we're doing. So the routine kicked in, came into my office, said, okay, Lord, where do we start today? And so I realized what was happening was I was being worn out because I was tired. I'd been up a little bit too late. I was looping on old thoughts. I was confused on what I was going to do because I was asking the wrong questions. I was having the wrong conversations. And I was just feeling overwhelmed about everything that I had to do. So Redicon went and studied some stuff from Graham Cook, studied some stuff from the Passion, and then the Lord just said, Forrest, go into communion today because I want you to start the day by hearing what I have to say about you. I want you to hear the voice that I have for you. So as I did that, everything started to shift. And I realized that for the last year or so, I've been asking God to do some things. Good morning, Molly. I've been asking God to do some things in me. And I think so many times when we ask God to do something in us or when we're working on something, we wait for him to wave the magic wand and everything's going to show up and be wonderful. And what he said to me today was pretty interesting. I had 5 pages in my journal. He said, Forrest, you're making such great progress. Do you expect me to just show up and wave the magic wand? I said, no, you're a teacher. And you have to have the experiences and the discovery and the learning process that will let you continue to grow and become a great teacher. I'm going to finish reading what he wrote to me this morning. He said, this isn't going to come from books, although they matter. This is going to come from your process, letting me in, listening to my voice, not listening to the old, flowing in my peace without trying to figure everything out. That's kind of an interesting piece there. It's time for you to listen and hear my voice. This is a new time for you, but you're ready. So when something's new, it's exactly right, Cheryl. It's a journey today. In fact, I thought about going on a hike, and when you go for a hike, they have that little thing that says the loop, so you can always go on a hike that's a loop. Or you can say, I'm going up there to the top of the mountain. And when I was younger and we used to go to the top of the mountain, oftentimes there wasn't a trail. We just went from here to there, and the process of going, we didn't know how we were going to get there, how we were going to get back. I remember a couple times kind of getting lost, but never really being lost because I knew I was on a journey. And I knew I was going to the top, and I was coming home, but I wasn't looping. Okay, I digress. So it's time for you, this is the Lord's writing to me this morning, it's time for you to listen and hear my voice. This is a new season for you, but you're ready. So when something's new, it's going to feel different, and you're going to have to show up differently. I can't keep showing up in the old. This is key. Forrest, it starts with your evening routine, not TV. You can't wake up tired and expect to operate in a new anointing. A tired you responds to old habits. A tired you. And I realize that when I wake up tired, it's so easy to listen to the old voice. And that's why my board is so important. If y'all just join, that's why this is so important over here. Let's see if I can get it to work. Come on, camera. Flip. Double tap. Okay, this is why this is so important. It's actually taken me 2 years to create this message on my board. And I'm not saying everybody should put up a whiteboard, but this is so important because this is what clarity into what matters to me each day. It gets me focused back on where I'm going. Oops, the camera got messed up there. Okay, there we go. Okay. You can't wake up tired, you can't wake up worn out, and you can't wake up and let the old, that got weird, there we go. We can't wake up and let the old voice start speaking to you. And this was from Graham Cook this morning. He said, the new self does not need to choose stress when there's love, joy, and peace that are available for free. So what happens, we've got a choice, and there's a discipline act we can take. We've got the choice of applying discipline. So discipline is shutting up the old and bringing in the new. So as I begin to do that, then I started to realize I don't need to figure out all of these burdens and all of these challenges. What I need to do is I need to focus on what's W-L-I mean? W-I-W. Okay, W-I-W. That's a good note. Oh, you'll have to tell me what that means. I don't have to figure out stuff. I've got to listen to the new voice. I've got to listen to the new heart. I've got to listen to the new message. And it's a choice to go there. But the thing is, it feels almost like it's wrong because I don't know. It doesn't feel like what I'm comfortable doing. So the Lord was very clear to me this morning that my new focus is His voice and trusting Him for today. It's not me getting up and trying to solve Bob's problems or Mary's problems or have the perfect word or do the perfect teaching or do the perfect training or take on a burden for this call. It's a showing up and listening to His voice. So what I did about 15 minutes ago is I started reading out loud my board. And here's what's cool. What's on the board has come from, the journal. And I'm just realizing how much. I just wish I had time to write all day. And someday I will. Because today there was like 7 pages and I started reorganizing it. And there's so much good in it, but it's like I want to reorganize it for my brain. But here's what happened. So I'm on my rebounder and I'm rereading my morning scripture. I'm reading about my destiny plan, and I'm reading about the things I want to do with my business and my life. And what happened, everybody? There's the heart. Okay. Oh, push this back up. There we go. Now I can see you guys. Technology. What's beginning to happen is the pieces are beginning to gel. There's all of these cool pieces going on in my life, and I think there's a bunch of really amazing pieces in you. Each one of you was born with something in you that wants to come out, and I think a lot of times it doesn't come out because it's messed up with the confusion and the day-to-day just junk that's going on. Our family, our kids, our job, all of these things are going on. And we don't take the time to let what's in us process and be nurtured and gel and come together. And so for the last 6 months or so, what's on my board has been there, and I keep reading it, and it hasn't been gelling. When I started reading it today, the pieces are beginning to gel. So what I want to encourage you guys in today is get in your journal, continue to listen to that voice that's moving you forward, not the looping voice, but the voice that's moving you toward your destiny. There's a path, there's a plan, and there's a destiny for you. And I don't think it just shows up. I don't think God waves a magic wand. I think it's there, and it takes that time in the morning or the evening, whenever you pick your time. Incubation time does birth change. It's got to incubate. It's got to process. You can't just pop out a baby just like that. I know a lot of times that would be a good idea. It's got to incubate, and you've got to nurture it, and you've got to encourage it. And it gets nurtured and encouraged by you speaking life into it, by you spending time with it in your journal. That bit of time has to be there for it to nurture. And just like a baby, there's a time, there's a process. And we know that's 9 months. I'm not sure that we really know the time and the process for what's happening in us. I'm 61 years old, I'll be 62. And again, we want the magic wand. Thank you, Stan. Yes, the tortoise always wins. We get so confused by the world system that says, the hare always wins. We want the magic wand, but what I'm learning is we dig into the process and we keep pushing in and pushing in, knowing that there's a seed there. The truth is there is a seed in each one of you that wants to be nurtured. And it doesn't matter how long it's been laying there. A seed can lay in a storage shed for a year, 2 years, 10 years. They've got seeds that have been sitting around, for hundreds of years. And then you bring the right conditions to play, and that seed begins to grow and to be nurtured. So what I want to wrap up with today, and again, a little disjointed, but it was a good morning here, and I'm hoping this is a good morning for you. Thank y'all for the hearts. This matters so much to me. I love the hearts. So thank you for those of you that are doing this. And remember, you can always hit that little guy down at the bottom and share on your Facebook page. You can swipe up, you can swipe right, and you can share, and we can join your community. Your community can join us on these. There's a seed in you, and it's our choice to nurture it. The seed will not be nurtured when you're looping. The seed's not going to be nurtured by the old voice. The seed's not going to be nurtured by you trying to do more of what you've been doing for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60 years. The seed is going to be nurtured when we speak life over it. We give it opportunity to grow, and that voice of life, what I'm learning is it just looks different. I can't talk to the seed with the old language. I've got to talk to the seed with the new language. And here's the deal. The new language doesn't make any sense because I've never done it before, which is why it's so important to have the red ink, the blue ink, the red ink, the blue ink, and the black ink. You've got to have all three colors of ink so that you begin to develop it and bring it together. So I just want to encourage you guys that there's life in you. It wants to come out. It's a different voice. It requires discipline to turn off the old voice. And then it takes asking. You know, it's like ask God to nurture what's in you. Give him to show up and realize there's a process, because the process matters. There's not too often the magic wand. You know, it's in the Bible. There are magic wand days. But by and large, I think he wants you to grow and become this amazing person, the seed that he put in each one of you. So anyway, I went from really not well this morning to really good in the last hour. That's kind of the process I went through. I hope that helped you guys a bunch. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, Darlene. Yes, grow a big and deep taproot in the process, because, you know, there's storms coming. We know that there are storms coming. And guys, you got to get that taproot growing. The taproot has got to keep on growing. Thanks, Molly. Thank you so much. Molly, I heard you went out and bought your journal and your pens. Rhonda told me you got your journal and your pens, so really excited for you on that. Thank you guys for being a part of my day today. Pray for sun in Colorado. And I just pray that the Lord bless y'all today with wisdom and with his grace, and that what is in you will come forth regardless of the circumstances that are around you. I have a little note on my board. I'll close with this. It says, this was a decision I made a month ago. I choose to be and live with passion, regardless of the world, the people, or the circumstances around me. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow. Thanks. Goodbye.